Have you ever had that feeling where you're watching a show and you just know a massive explosion is coming? Not a literal bomb, though it is Port Charles, so you never know, but a total emotional and structural meltdown. That is exactly where we are with General Hospital right now. We've been watching Jenz, Sidwell, and Cullum walk side by side for weeks, thinking they were this unstoppable duo. But there is a lie sitting right between them that is so big, so dark, that when it finally comes out, it's going to level everything. And honestly, I don't think Sidwell is ready for it. I don't think any of us are. Think about it for a second. We all thought Sidwell was the big bad, right? He came into town acting like he owned every street corner, every dock, and every person in sight. He's the guy who doesn't need to yell to be scary. He just sits there, calculates, and moves his pieces like a master chess player. But then, the show did something really clever. They brought in Cullum, the WSB director. And suddenly, we realized Sidwell wasn't the king. He was just middle management. He was a pawn in a much bigger, much colder machine. It's wild, isn't it? Seeing a guy as dangerous as Sidwell actually taking orders from someone else. It changes the whole vibe of the show. It's not just about one man's ego anymore. It's about an institution that can make you disappear without even blinking. But here is the funny thing about the machine. Machines don't have hearts, but people do. And Sidwell? He's a man driven by one thing right now, the loss of his son, Marco Rios. He's been grieving, he's been fuming, and he's been pointing all that rage at Sonny Corinthos.
Why?
Because that's what he's been led to believe. He thinks Sonny is the one who had Marco killed. But we know the truth. We saw it happen. We saw Cullum walk into Alexis Davis's office and just end it. Cold-blooded. No hesitation. Cullum murdered Marco Rios, and now he's standing right next to the grieving father, acting like his best friend and business partner. Can you even imagine the level of sociopathy it takes to do that? To watch a man mourn his son every single day, knowing you're the one who put him in the ground? It makes you wonder, doesn't it? What happens when that mask finally slips? Because we know it's going to. In the world of soaps, a secret like that is a ticking time bomb, and the timer is hitting 0. The latest predictions are pointing toward a total volcanic fury from Sidwell, and I am here for it. But the way this truth comes out, that's where things get really messy and really interesting. Enter Britt Westbourne. I've got to say, Britt is in the most heartbreaking position out of everyone. She knows. She and Lucas have pieced it together. They know Cullum is the killer. But Britt is stuck in this impossible trap. Cullum is the one providing her with the medication that keeps her Huntington symptoms in check. If she takes him down, she loses her life-saving meds. It's literally a choice between justice for Marco and her own survival. What would you do in that situation? Would you keep quiet to stay alive? Or would you burn it all down to do what's right? The sources are telling us that Britt is leaning toward burning it all down. She's reached this point where she can't stand the sight of Cullum anymore. She sees him as this dangerous liability that needs to be stopped. And the plan? It's risky as hell. Word is she's going to try and record a confession. She's going to walk right into the lion's den, confront a murderer, and hope she can get him to admit it on tape. If he figures out what she's doing, she's dead. Cullum has already shown he's more than willing to wipe out anyone who gets in his way. He doesn't see people as humans. He sees them as variables or obstacles. And it's not just Britt in the crosshairs. We've got Danny and Charlotte, two kids who really should know better by now, sneaking around Windmere and walking straight into Cullum's path. The vibe at Windmere right now is completely unstable. You've got Cullum spiraling because he knows people are starting to ask questions. He's desperate to cover his tracks. When he finds those kids snooping, he doesn't see unlucky teenagers. He sees a threat to his cold fusion project. He sees more loose ends that need to be snipped. This is where the Thursday mayhem we've been hearing about really kicks in. Imagine the scene. Dante is racing to Windmere with that protective father energy he gets, worried about Danny and Charlotte. Rocco is terrified, probably feeling guilty because he knows more than he's saying. And inside those walls, Sidwell and Cullum are facing off. But this time it's different. This time, the truth is in the room. The prediction is that Lucas is the one who finally pulls the pin on the grenade. He can't stay silent anymore. He loved Marco, and he can't watch the man who killed him walk free another day. So he goes to Sidwell. He delivers the proof. And when Sidwell hears those words, when he realizes that his partner, the man he trusted, is the one who took his son's life, that's the moment Sidwell crushes Cullum. But don't expect a polite argument. We're talking about a deadly war between two powerful men. Sidwell isn't going to call the cops. He's a guy who handles things with ruthless strategy. He's going to want blood. And Cullum, he's not going to just lay down and die. He's going to fight back with everything he's got. The sources describe it as a violent showdown that could end in tragedy for everyone involved. If neither man is willing to walk away, someone is not making it out of Windmere alive. Who do you think it'll be? My money is on Sidwell winning the battle, but losing the war. Because if he kills the WSB director, he's not just a criminal anymore. He's an enemy of the state. And while all of this is exploding, the rest of Port Charles is falling apart in its own way. Have you noticed how Willow is changing? She's entering what looks like her darkest phase. She's starting to agree with Sidwell's way of thinking. She's looking at Drew and thinking, maybe he just needs to disappear. It's a huge shift for her character. She used to be the moral compass, the one who always tried to do the right thing. But now, she's colder, more calculated. She's preparing for war. It just goes to show you how this organized malice is infecting everyone. When the system is corrupt, even the good people start thinking about doing bad things to survive. Then you've got Nina, who is basically a walking panic attack right now. She's so desperate to keep Brennan quiet that she's making reckless moves. There was that moment at the hospital where she almost injected him with something, or maybe even tried to use a pillow. And Joe might have seen her. Can you imagine Nina trying to explain that away? Oh, I was just fluffing his pillow, very forcefully. She's unraveling, and when Nina unravels, everyone around her gets caught in the debris. And don't even get me started on the Delilah mystery. Alexis is digging into this, and it looks like it's going to connect back to Ethan. Why would Ethan come back to town and hide his own daughter? What is he so afraid of? It's just another layer of secrets in a town that's already drowning in them. But back to the main event. The Sidwell and Cullum fallout is going to change everything for Sonny. 2. Sonny has been on the ropes lately. Sidwell has been outplaying him at every turn. But if Sidwell and Cullum destroy each other, that leaves a huge power vacuum. Sonny is the kind of guy who knows exactly how to step into a mess like that and take control. He might actually end up being the one who mops up the remains of Sidwell's organization. It's classic Sonny. Just when you think he's out, the world hands him a golden opportunity to get back on top. But what about the emotional cost? If Britt loses her meds, what happens to her and Jason? Fans have been dying for that romance to rev up again. They had that New Year's Eve kiss, and Jason has been slowly breaking down her walls. But if Britt is on a suicide mission to take down Cullum, does that mean their love story is over before it even starts? Or does Jason become the one person she can lean on while her health declines? It's so tragic and so beautiful at the same time. She's choosing to be a hero, even if it costs her everything. You have to ask yourself, is Sidwell's revenge worth it? If he crushes Cullum, does he finally get peace for Marco? Or does he just become another monster in a long line of them? And who is the real villain here? Is it the man who pulled the trigger, or the system that protected him while he did it? The walls are closing in on Ross Cullum. Every direction he looks, there's an enemy. Britt is snitching, Lucas is planning, Dante is coming, and Sidwell is ready to snap. It's starting to feel like his time is finally running out. But a cornered animal is the most dangerous, and Cullum has a lot of resources at his disposal. He's not going to go down without a massive fight. What do you think is going to happen at Windmere? Do you think Sidwell is actually going to kill Cullum, or will Cullum find a way to flip the script one more time? And honestly, who do you want to see take the final shot? Is it Britt because she's sacrificed so much? Or does it have to be Sidwell, the grieving father? It's one of those storylines that keeps you up at night thinking about the what-ifs. What if Danny and Charlotte saw something they weren't supposed to? What if the recording Britt is making captures more than just a murder confession? What if the WSB has a backup plan for when their director goes rogue? Port Charles is about to find out, and the fallout is going to be massive. We're looking at shattered lives, broken alliances, and maybe even a few funerals. It's peak soap opera drama, and I am strapped in for the ride. So, what's your take? Is Sidwell the hero we need right now to take out a bigger monster? Or is he just as bad as the man he's trying to destroy? I want to hear your theories in the comments. Are you Team Britt? Team Jason? Or are you just waiting for Sonny to come back and show everyone how a real boss handles business? This story is moving fast, and every move Sidwell makes is like a masterstroke on a canvas of chaos. But even the best painters can lose control of the brush. When the truth about Marco's death finally hits the air, it won't just be a secret getting out. It'll be a declaration of war. Have you ever thought about what you'd do if your life was literally in the hands of a monster? I mean, think about it for a second. You wake up every day knowing that the only thing keeping your body from falling apart is a pill provided by the same man who murdered someone you loved. That is the haunting reality for Britt Westbourne right now on General Hospital. It's a psychological cage that is far more terrifying than any prison cell we've seen because the bars are made of her own DNA. But there is a massive question hanging over Port Charles like a guillotine right now. What actually happens to Britt the second Ross-Cullum's medication supply is cut off? Is she choosing justice over her own heartbeat? Or is there a deeper, darker plan at play that we haven't seen yet? For a long time, we've watched Britt play the Britch role, but this version of her is completely different. She's staring down the barrel of a terminal diagnosis while being held hostage by the WSB director. Ross-Cullum isn't just some petty villain. He is an institution. He represents this cold, clinical machine that treats human lives like numbers in an equation. When he stepped into Alexis's office and killed Marco Rios, he didn't just end a life. He created a debt that Britt feels she has to pay with her own existence. But why is she so willing to pull the pin on this grenade? Well, think about it. She's operating from a place of crushing guilt. Marco died, trying to get her those meds. He was a flawed guy who loved Lucas, and he's gone because of a quest that Britt started. In her mind, every dose of that medication is stained with Marco's blood. This isn't just about a supply chain being cut. It's about a woman who can no longer stomach the price of her own survival. Don't you think she's reached a point where living under Cullum's thumb feels worse than dying? It's a total psychological shift. She's gone from someone who would do anything to survive to someone who is ready for her final act. The emotional weight of this is almost unbearable when you look at her goodbye with Rocco. When she tells that kid things will get easier, she knows she won't be around to see it. She's booking one-way tickets to Berlin while planning to record a murderer's confession. It is a suicide mission. Plain and simple. She knows that if she exposes Cullum to Jenz Sidwell is going to absolutely crush him. And when Cullum goes down, the lab, the project, and the medication all go down with him. She's essentially hiring her own executioner to get justice. It's a level of sacrifice that I honestly didn't think Britt was capable of, but here we are. It's both heroic and deeply tragic to see her give up her future to stop a man who is more than willing to wipe out anyone in his way. From a psychological perspective, Britt is finally taking back her power. For months, Cullum has owned her. He's used her illness as a leash. By deciding to snitch to Sidwell, she's cutting that leash herself. She's basically saying, "You can't threaten me with death if I've already accepted it." That makes her the most dangerous person in Port Charles right now because she has zero fear. While men like Sidwell and Sonny are playing chess with power and territory, Britt is playing for the soul of the city. I honestly believe she's the only one who can take Cullum down because he underestimates her. He sees a sick woman who needs him. He doesn't see a doctor who knows exactly where to cut to make him bleed. But the physical reality of cutting that medication is going to be brutal. We're not talking about a quick exit here. We're talking about a terminal decline. The symptoms of Huntington's don't just show up, they take over. Without those meds, Britt's body will become a stranger to her. This is where the story gets even more intense because Jason Morgan is right there in the wings. We've seen them getting closer, right? That birthday kiss on New Year's Eve, the slow breaking down of her walls. If Britt goes through with this, Jason isn't just going to be her boyfriend. He's going to be her hospice. It changes their entire romance. It's not a happily ever after anymore. It's a beautiful goodbye. I suspect the moment the supply is cut, we're going to see a side of Jason we haven't seen in a long time. He's going to be protective, obviously, but he's also going to be totally helpless. Jason can shoot a hitman, but he can't shoot a brain disease. Isn't it ironic? The man who can survive anything is going to have to watch the woman he loves fade away from something he can't fight. It's a brilliant way to ground a character like Jason, who often feels invincible. It makes the stakes feel so much more human. Then you have the fallout for the rest of the town. If Britt succeeds in getting Sidwell to crush Cullum, she's starting a war between a mobster and the WSB. It's a power vacuum that Sonny Corinthos is already eyeing. While Britt is fading away, the vultures are circling. It makes you wonder if her sacrifice will even matter in the long run. If one monster is replaced by another, did she really make things better for everyone? I want to believe she did, especially for the kids like Danny and Charlotte who were almost caught in Cullum's crosshairs at Windmere. But in Port Charles, justice always comes with a massive bill that someone eventually has to pay. The tension at Windmere is the catalyst for all of this. When Cullum started manhandling those kids and barking for answers, he crossed a line. Seeing those children in danger was the trigger Britt needed to stop thinking and start acting. She knows Cullum is unstable. She sees him spiraling harder than anyone expected. When a man with that much power starts to panic, people start disappearing. Britt is choosing to be the one who disappears so that the kids don't have to. It's a noble choice, but it's so frustrating that she's the one who has to pay the price while men like Cullum and Sidwell argue about management and strategy. Let's talk about that medication for a second. If it's as revolutionary as Cullum says, why is he the only one who has it? This points to a massive level of corruption within the WSB. It's not just one bad guy. It's a system that hoards medicine to use as leverage. By exposing Cullum, Britt isn't just killing a man. She's trying to kill that entire philosophy. She's trying to prove that you can't own a person's life just because you own their medicine. It's a powerful message, but the cost is her own life. I agree with her choice to stop him, but it is a bitter pill to swallow. The prediction for this upcoming mayhem is that everything is going to collide at once. We've got Dante coming with all that protective father energy, Sidwell fueled by volcanic fury, and Britt holding the evidence that could end it all. If she delivers that recorded confession to Sidwell, the war is on. But what happens to Lucas in all this? He's the one who encouraged Marco to get the meds in the first place. He's the bridge between the medical world and this dark conspiracy. If Britt goes down, Lucas loses a sister and a confidant. The ripple effect of her losing that medication supply is going to touch every single person at the hospital. And then there's the Berlin factor. Why Berlin? Is she going there to find another doctor? Or is she going there to die in peace? One theory is that she's hoping to find the original research that Cullum stole. If she can find the source, maybe she can restart the supply without the WSB's blood money. But with her health already declining, she's reportedly already stopped taking the doses. Time is her biggest enemy. She's running a race against her own nervous system. It's high-stakes drama because the clock is literal. Every tremor and every misstep is a reminder that her choice is final. If you're loving these deep dives into the organized malice of Port Charles, you know what to do. Hit that like button if you think Cullum has it coming. And if you don't want to miss a single second of the drama, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on those notifications. We're going to be right here to break down every twist, every betrayal, and every Thursday mayhem moment as it happens. Will Cullum